Okay, here we are back. This is a 60-year churned Hoard. I'm showing what is in this garage. This is part two. I got along this little wall in the first part. Now I'm going to go along this back wall here. So underneath we have this lathe. Never used it. Guy was going to get rid of it. My dad brought it in. He thought it'd be great. Now let me tell you, there is a YouTube video on somebody. I'm not sure what brand this is. I know it's here somewhere, but YouTube video on a guy that actually took one of these lathes. He put an electric motor. We do have the electric motor. He put the belt drive electric motor, on-off switch, reverse, everything. He built it so it can be used, and then he sold it for what it cost him. He did not want to see that thing fail. Now, is this thing any good? I don't know. You can comment on that if you like, but, you know, it's rusty. May not work right. May not machine right. For the last 30 years, it's just been a shelf. So, let me go on down this wall here, folks. I'll start at the top. There's my great-grandmother's mailbox. My great-grandmother came to the United States from Sweden around the turn of the century. That was her mailbox at her farm. Yeah, she was a farmer because when my great-grandfather passed away, she continued to make a living. So this is our shelf. There's still grease in that can. Probably not worth anything, but on pickers, you know, they'd buy that. A couple cans of different flavor of gas. There's my number 3. My number 3 soldering iron. And this baby is nice. Right there, it's your basic weller. But this is your 140 watt weller. Those are really nice. They last well. Now, my primary soldering gun, I like this baby right here. Okay, it's right there. You see that? A wall. You can take a file, clean this up, point it. Nice. Makes heat quick, solders well. And then I have a third one somewhere in this Hoard right here. Right there. Look at that baby. A Wen. So I've got a Wen. Beautiful. So I have a Wen, a Hall, and a Weller. All night soldering irons. Never need another one. Okay, so we'll move on. There's a couple electric fencers. Do you know what that is? Right there. Anybody know what that is? It's going to be part of a trophy. I've got my, this is from an auction. Oh, silly me. Dale Jr., Tony Stewart, Chevy guys, right? Chevy? Well, not Chevy. Actually, Pontiac Grand Prix spark plug set. Beautiful Champion, but an ugly, worn out box. Guy offered me $10 for it at the auction. I go, oh, no, I think I'll keep it. Yeah, nobody wants that. I got a little heat lamp, hydraulic filter for my tractor. I used to do machining in a shop. There were my micrometers. There's my welding rod for that welder over by the wall I showed in the other video. Some gate latches. There's a faucet where I can change a cartridge. It's one I removed. I can change a cartridge. Here's a little box that was my son-in-law had, and I can use it for something. There's a nice little electric drill. Really nice one. There's my height gauge. You know what a height gauge is? If you want me to show anything, I'll be happy to respond to comments. but it's a height gauge for machine shop work. There's two. They're portable CBs, magnetic on the roof, magnetic antenna, little portable CB cigarette lighter units. They work. One was from an auction, one we had a long time ago. And I've traveled with them. I have used them. Nexus. It's a nice triple beam scale. No, I don't sell drugs, but what I do is I worked on race cars, and I would use that scale to balance my pistons, really on the cheap. You can set up a little jig, you can do your connecting rods. Did a really nice job. There's this telephone. Telephone was in this garage. We had it wired in, so we had a phone. Of course, nowadays you got a cell phone, don't need it. There's an old radio. Radio I put in one of my trucks. There's a little box, got tools in it. That other box up there, not going to get it down, but that's my snap ring pliers. That's the large ones. Okay. I want to move on quickly here because I really don't want to take up all your time. So I find something interesting. That was a really cool Pennsylvania Dutch symbol. A couple of headlights here for a snowplow. Are they really nice? No, but you know, damn it, they'd work for something. Put them on my side-by-side when I set it up to plow snow for next winter. My bench grinder that's not mounted to the bench. Okay. There's a cup holder that can go on the tractor. Certainly can go on the tractor. Some boxes, they need to go in the house. There's a set of reflector for your CDL people to go in your truck. That syringe. That was actually given to me when I had my wisdom teeth pulled out about 25 years ago. But I kept it for, you know, working on cars. You can draw out some brake fluid, a couple of linch pins. That's a solar battery pack. It was actually given to me by my granddaughter. So here's a little swirl tank. That was off a race car that I made. My boss was really big into that and explained how it works. Basically, this is on the race car. I use this to fill it. But what happens here is the water would go in here and swirl around the tank and then come out down here. That swirl action, you would start out with this full when the vehicle's cold. That swirl action would maintain all the gas. We'll call it gas. Could be vapor, could be air. We keep it right in that container. So as you race, if you get hot, you get steam pockets in your engine. That steam will end up in here. If it pushes water out, the water will come out there. Ideally, the steam would come out first. The air would come out first. It would maintain the water in there, and it would have a column in the middle of your vapor, your air, your steam. It might be what you need to finish your race. You get a little pinhole in the radiator. I was racing dirt track. So, you know, it was adapted from my friend who did road racing, but it worked really well for my purpose. So we'll move on. We've got a tackle box there. I think it's empty. This is, I made this to be miscellaneous drills. And folks, I'm not doing machining work anymore, so I don't really care about the order. If I want to drill a hole, it's just to stick a bolt through it, you know. Unless I can use this, sure. I'm not going to put a doorknob in, but I could use that to make a bigger hole in a piece of wood. This is an old toolbox. That was at a previous job I bought that for, and it's just a crappy, I should smash it. But a lot of memories. I've got punches, chisels. Look at these babies. There's some brass tunkers. I think that's brass tunkers right there. There you go. A tunker? What the hell is a tunker? Yeah. Tunk, tunk, tunk. And it's brass. So as you tap on something, else, let's say it's made of steel, you use this, you tap on the steel, you use brass, which is going to deform the brass. And a tunker, it's not a hammer. You could put a handle through that and have a hammer, but as a tunker, it's just a tunker. There's some line for a gauge. Some more chisels. Of course, I have this whole can of chisels here. Here's a lens, but damn it, it's for a small Longacre air pressure gauge, so that was a mistake. I didn't realize it when I bought it on eBay. Okay, it's an empty drawer. This is just a lost toolbox. Some extra things, you know. These are actually Zoots fasteners, I believe. Okay. This is like grab and go around. I actually use this in this other job. Grab and go. So I had my tools, grab the ratchet, my 3/8. It's a genuine Craftsman. Grab and go. It's a nice little Phillips, little tiny Phillips. But yeah, they're just here. I haven't used those in, gosh, be since 1993, folks. 1993 is the last I used them. There's a drill. Y'all know how that masonry drill. Okay. Have I ever used it? No. It was in auction stuff. This is a nice little snap-on toolbox. Okay. Got a bucket of grease. Again, I think that was from an auction. Good grease. Use it on the farm equipment. Big plate of steel. It was extra from a shop. Pennies on the dollar. Sometime I'll use it. It's been around here since the mid-80s. We haven't used it, but we did build a trailer out of this. And this is just left over from that, waiting. Down there's an old pump from a Case 600 tractor. It's probably going to the scrap yard. Face shield. It's a little container. I like to take that to work on the tractors. It's got spark plugs in it. Probably for the old M, maybe for the H. The M is gone. The H is not functional. That's going to be a project for retirement. Here's a little motor. This engine is for my bedding chopper. That's going to be a project here, hopefully this year. Nice chair to keep my battery charger on. I'm not sure if this is a good battery charger because I've had some accidents with it. The pieces of wood here. These are nice. This is some nice. What? Oh, this is actually flooring. This is some flooring, and I was going to put this together and build a trophy. And this is how. Some pre-finished, really nice pre-finished flooring. I'm going to build a trophy. It's going to look good in the end, folks. Here's my little kit for my. It's got stuff on top of it. This is my kit for my hay bine. Pull that out. It's got all my stuff in. Here's rivets. Okay, there's rivets for the hay bine. Cutter sections, knives. Everything's in there, okay? Get the hay bine ready. I only do 1,000 bales a year. But I have to repair it. Here's an auction thing. Grease cartridges. There's some Never Sees. There's a snake. How about that snake? I do use it. Snake out of drain. Nice little light for my drill press. This is my little solder kit here, and under here, that's my bolt. Some more bolts that I need to go through. ratchet straps. You need a better home. A job I worked at, I did a lot of welding, so here's my old welding jacket. You can see it's used. I welded. Not one of these guys that shows you a tool and looks like it's never been touched. Oh yeah, this is a tool I gotta look at. It's new in the box. Yeah. I had these, I don't know if I have the set here. You know what these are, folks? Yep, they go over your shoes. How many people have used a cutting torch, MIG welder, stick welder, and had a molten piece of slag go down in your shoelace, burning the top of your foot? And you know what? You don't want to quit. The hell kind of guy are you? You can't quit and strip your shoe off and go ice it. You just shake your foot around, get it out, and keep on working. You got to get the job done, people. Okay, there's my pipe cutters. A lot of miles. One of those was my dad's. It's been here. Actually, I think it came from my uncle probably 40 years ago. The other is mine from an auction. There's another one my dad had, smaller model right there. This right here, that was a window net from a race car when they made us start running window nets. That makes sense? Yeah, they made us start running window nets. There was a time when you didn't need a window net. Okay. What else have we got? How about that chain? Look at that. 2 pieces right there. There's probably $4. It's nice. Something else up here I got to show you. Not worth anything, but boy, they'd show it. They'd show this on pickers. Look at that. If I ever want to fix my own shoes, I don't know if that's a child shoe or if that just, you move the shoe around there so you can drive the nails home. Belonged to my dad. I don't know where he got it. And of course this, apparently, excuse the camera work, but apparently that went somewhere like that, and that went like that. So you could work on a boot. You could do boots, which is interesting in this part of the country here, because our city used to have the Goki boot factory. The Goki, and they called them a Goki snake-proof boot. And so maybe that came from the Goki boot factory. They still make the Goki shoes. They're custom-made shoes for hiking, for woodsmen. But the Goki shoe factory caught on fire, and that led to our career fire department. They moved the Goki shoe factory to another location in our city, and ultimately it was moved and sold, but it is still around today, folks, in the country. Just not in our city. Here's something else that's been on my shelf for a while. Right here. Look at this. How about that? Yeah, this is where I live. So you can see the date. It's been in this garage since then. So with that, folks, I'm going to end. And that will be part 2. What the hell's in that garage?